to start the indoor season on January 29th. It was Cole Hawker, Louis Peralta, Charlie Hunter, and Cooper Tier. They dismantled the NCAA record, and all eyes then turned to them as one of the favorites, not only for the DMR, but for the team title.
Iowa State also with a good performance so far this year. 9:27.90, but 8 seconds in arrears to the incredible performance by the Ducks.
Well, we're certainly going to get some shakeups here because we got athletes doubling. On our schedule, it looks like Cole Hawker is going to open up on the first leg, but then when you look down there, that's Reed Brown, who did not qualify in the 800 or in the mile. He was in one of those early heats of the mile, so they're going to get some use out of him and believe that they can run much faster than the rest of the field, even when they don't run that same team they ran when they broke the national record.
So they'll start in these two groupings, one of 8 and one of 4. They'll stay in their packs for the first 2 times, then break for the pole. Opening leg is a 1,200-meter leg, so 6 laps of the track, and that tends to string these teams out. It isn't as bunched up at the exchange as it looks like it would be. And they have the 400-meter leg, 2 laps, 800 meters, 4 laps, and then finally 1,600 meters. And if you've got a stud 1,600-meter guy, you can be well off the pace at the exchange and still have a shot of winning it all.
And I'm not sure anything is as exciting as that 1,200-meter relay baton pass to the 400-meter guy, because there's all kinds of chaos and confusion, and that's where guys can make a nice breakaway.
So Cole Hawker was replaced by Reed Brown. Brown not a qualifier into the mile final tomorrow, whereas Hawker is. So a little extra duty, 1,200-meter leg for the Reed Brown. Sub 60 for the first 2 laps, so a good honest pace.
And at this point, Oregon needs the points. They don't care about the time. They've got the record. Now it's just how do we make sure that we're the first one across the line with the stick.
That's absolutely correct, John. North Carolina, Thomas Ratcliffe, the senior, slated to be running this leg. And then Ole Miss right behind them. They've got a good crew as well.
They were the SEC champs, and 4 teams went under that SEC record. That looks like, I want to say Smolders, but our lineup certainly can change. That is Smolders for Ole Miss.
Waleed Suleiman not running on this distance medley relay as he was a qualifier into the mile, though he really did struggle and came in 4th in his heat as an automatic qualifier. So they wrapped it up on that second 400. You can see how the field is stringing out.
Virginia Tech trying to hang on there. Kind of in no man's land in 4th position. They were the ACC champion this year.
Smolders into the lead for Ole Miss, and Reed Brown of Oregon going with him. Ratcliffe of North Carolina trying to hang in there, keep his team in it. Oregon who will pass off for their 400 leg. Texas now in the mix. A good late charge by Cruz Gomez to hand off to the Longhorns in 4th. Now here come the speedsters. From Oregon, Xavier Nairn, the sophomore, with the stick. For Ole Miss, Elijah Dreyer. And for North Carolina, Isaiah Palmer. Texas runs Jonathan Jones. He's now making a move into 3rd. North Carolina to the lead, Oregon 2nd, Texas trying to become 2nd, going wide as they get ready to hand off to the 800-meter leg. North Carolina will hand off 1st, Texas 2nd, Oregon and Ole Miss equal. meters. Texas in second. For North Carolina, it's supposed to be Alan Sigler. For Texas, Brendan Hebert. For Ole Miss, John Rivera. It's definitely John Rivera. Charlie Hunter for Oregon, who ran in the heats of the 800 meters earlier. And for Virginia Tech, that's Thierry Suyunga Jr. North Carolina now expanding the lead.
Oregon's got a pretty good ace to play here coming up.
Yeah, it usually comes down to the 1600 meter guy. We saw King Chez hold it down pretty well for the Ducks for a couple of years, getting the stick well back.
Robert Johnson says this is the Super Bowl for distance coaches. And I spoke with BYU coach Koji Taylor, and she said, distance coaches will sell their soul for this event because it's the only relay they have. It's outdoors, you go 4x1 and 4x4, and here it's the sprinters. And so this is their thing right here. She said it is a flex to win this. This is the flex.
Alan Sigler of North Carolina obviously went out way too ambitiously for him. They dropped way back, so Oregon now into the lead as Charlie Hunter gets ready to hand off to their ace, Cooper Tier, the collegiate record holder in the mile. Ole Miss goes with Mario Garcia-Romo on the anchor. Texas goes with Creighton Corosa in their 1600-meter leg. I should stop referring to it as the mile. It is 9 meters short of the mile.
Charlie Hunter did a great job on that 800-meter leg. He just stayed in contact like 2 or 3 other guys do the work, and then with 100 meters to go, he passed everybody, gave Oregon the lead. And you give the lead to this guy, and you can pretty much wrap it up. Certainly he could step on the rail on the inside and something could happen, but the best miler in the country bringing you home.
146.70 for Charlie Hunter for the Ducks, and that's why they're in the lead. Things now starting to bunch up a little bit. Cooper Tier not going out in breakneck speed, even though this is the only event he is running here at the NCAA Championships. He did not contest the mile, in which he holds the collegiate record.
Well, we'll see Cooper Tier tomorrow in the 3K.
I had a feeling that might be the answer. So 6 teams in it now, including Indiana. Arjun Jha on the 1600-meter leg for them. But methinks Cooper Tier has a lot left in the tank. So this has developed into an extremely interesting race, not the runaway that some might have thought it would be. Even though we're indoors, it still takes a little more energy to push that air away in front of you. It's much better to draft behind somebody doing that for you. And that's what Cooper Tier is doing. He's doing all the work up front. He's calling the pace. And the other 4 teams are seemingly happy to follow.
Well, Virginia Tech won a national title in this event just a couple of years ago. Ole Miss won the title in 2017. Notre Dame in 2018. Remember that Birmingham.
3 laps remaining, and still Cooper Tier of Oregon leading this lead pack of 5 teams. Behind him, Ole Miss, Texas, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech.
You look at the power and the strength of this Oregon team. You have to look back in 2015 when they had Edward Cheserek and Eric Jenkins and Will Gagosian. They just dominated those middle distance races. They won the indoor championship, and they come back and they win the outdoor championship.
2 laps remaining. 400 meters to go. And 4 teams definitely still in it, as you can see. Let's start to wind it up. Just a little gear change there after the start-finish line. Cooper Tier leading Ole Miss's Mario Garcia-Romo. Texas with Creighton Corosa right there, still looking like he's full of run. And for North Carolina, Brandon Tubby, who's starting to fall off the back. At the bell, it's Tier who shifts gears again and covers the move.
The last time Oregon won this race was back in 2016.
Garcia Romo has drafted Tier the whole way, but there, and then Tier shifts again. Romo trying to gather some type of energy to catch him, not going to happen. Oregon wins it, and just missing, again, the collegiate record. Running 9:19.54, they just missed their own record by 12 hundredths of a second, now corrected to 19:98. So they shatter the meet record, as do the 4 teams behind them. All it would have taken a little more pace out of Cooper Tier, and that collegiate record would have been gone.
Look out, look at the ease in which Charlie Hunter takes the lead with about 100 meters to go, 150 meters to go. He just chips into another gear. These Oregon guys are just on another level. And then it was all Cooper Tier at the finish, and we weren't even talking about record for this entire race. They crossed the line in 9:19.54, and all those teams behind them. Seasonal best, personal best. I was shocked when I saw the time. I thought we were going to see something, in the low 920s
or something like that. Look at that, 9:19.98. They missed their own collegiate record by a little more than a half a second. Ole Miss second, Texas third in the DMR.